Hello, baby. I'm back. I will do a rap for you again. Baby, I joined the group for you. Please do listen my heart. Please. Hey girl, please send me your number. I'm very part-time plumber. Sometimes I become very dumb, but please send me your boobas back number. Hey girl, please send me your number. I'm very part-time plumber. Sometimes I become very dumb, but please send me your boobas back number. I have joined baby in this group. Nothing baby, just for your boob. Please send your.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Welcome to the podcast, Straight Talk with Professor Red Pill. And today we're going to be talking about the housing bubble that may be coming in 2025. I want to go ahead and link an article here. So this is an article from August 19th, 2024. This is from Strong Towns. And the title is "The Housing Market is a Bubble Full of Fraud, and It's Going to Pop." So I've been covering this in the Telegram channel for pretty much 2 years now. That a bubble's going to happen. I've been talking about the possibilities of a stagnant economy, then a zombie economy, which we're starting to experience now. And right now, foreclosures are completely out of reach. And we've covered this extensively on the podcast as well as on the Telegram channel, links in the description. And basically, as this article is breaking it down, in the U.S. The U.S. is in a massive housing bubble. Prices are artificially high due primarily to downstream effects of financialization, localized supply and demand dynamics, which today are also downstream of financialization, or RMS. Decades of housing subsidies, down payment assistance, artificially low interest rates, money printing, and endless bank support have turned the American home into a financial product first and a place of shelter second. The extent of distortion is unprecedented. Something covered in Escaping Housing Trap: The Strong Towns Response to the Housing Crisis. So this is another article. They give a flow chart here, or sorry, not a flow chart, but a chart on the first inflated bubble, second inflated bubble, S&L bubble, subprime bubble. This was in 2008 subprime crisis that they're referring to, and then the housing crisis, or housing recovery rather. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I showed that before we had a massive correction in the S&P, not even a week before it happened, I covered how S&P was had for the first time in its existence had appeared to outpace inflation, which is interesting because generally the stock market is usually a good safe haven asset to kind of keep up with inflation. And some stocks actually you can beat inflation in the stock market, but for the most part it's a vessel or a tool that people put into, predominantly the boomers, your retirement, 401ks, things of that nature. So to protect assets for retirement later on, because over time the S&P generally stays up with inflation. Another asset protection is, of course, real estate. This is all perceived from financial advisors and economists. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm just giving you basics of simple economics, or simple, like financial, you know what I mean. That said, we're looking at the unaffordability, and the reality is that with the rate of the real rate of unemployment continues to spike up, even though the government states that there are surplus jobs, which we know is bullshit for the most part, because I don't see these jobs, and the jobs that they are creating are possibly literally just service sector jobs, warehouse jobs, things of that nature. They're not real jobs. They're just basically part-time, uh, non-union, non benefit, no benefits, and part-time most of the time. So I mean, a lot of people are working 2 part-time jobs in order to make ends meet. Some are working 3 part-time jobs, and just to pay rent. And part-time jobs is not going to get you qualified to buy a house. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to go on to the next article here. So with the foreclosure rate, so currently, let me go ahead and bring it up. So currently, the foreclosure metropolitan areas with population greater than 1 million, with the worst foreclosure rates in February 2024, include Orlando, one in every 1,938 housing units. Cleveland, Ohio, I guess one in every 2,000 plus housing units. Riverside, California, one in every 2,200. Philadelphia, one every 2,300, and then Miami with 2,392. Now, here's the interesting thing: is that California and Florida, especially Miami, has seen like the highest rate of price upticks. They've seen double and triple in some even some areas of Florida, predominantly Orlando and Miami area, or the Orange County and Miami-Dade area, have seen quadrupling of housing prices, and we did cover this extensively throughout the podcast in the last year. So, when does this circus end? Well, as highlighted here, foreclosures start increasing monthly. So foreclosures start increasing monthly and annually. Lenders started to foreclose process of 22,575 U.S. properties in February 2024 alone, up 4% from last month and up 11% from a year ago. So generally, we start seeing an uptick in foreclosures when we start seeing bubble type behavior in the market. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just wanting to cover this because I wrote an article back in 2014 that was published on my LinkedIn profile, and I've published in other areas and talked about it extensively on the on Telegram. And since then, that article has been removed twice on LinkedIn. And the last time I posted it, they basically deleted the main, like they deleted all of literally everything I wrote about, the body. So only the title is there. And what I was talking about in that article is that we were looking at a possible repeat of 2008 foreclosure. And I said this in 2014. I predicted by 2025 we would see a repeat of 2008, and it would be as bad, if not worse, than the 2008 subprime lending fiasco. Now, since then, we're starting to see. I didn't see, like, the main thing with that article is I did not perceive COVID lockdowns. That was kind of a monkey wrench or like a wild card that I did not expect. I mean, nobody can predict that sort of thing, and that affected the commercial real estate market very much so, where people were working from home and so on and so forth. Well, the thing is with the commercial real estate fiasco, I believe right now the study is, or the statistics are, that half of commercial real estate is like, there's vacancy, like 50% vacancy rate, and a lot of this commercial real estate or commercial buildings, and it's never, they haven't been able to refill those office vacancies since after COVID. So that has a lot of bearing in the current situation, economically speaking. More importantly, is that you saw an influx of a lot of people that either retired early, which I wrote in my article, that a lot of retirees would move to Florida and the Southeast because of the affordability factor of the homes. Because Florida and Texas and a lot of these southern states took the hardest hit with the mortgage crisis or the subprime lending crisis, housing bubble, and they seen the highest percentage of corrections. So a lot of these houses have been purchased over time. I haven't really noticed a lot of building, a lot of what's I'm looking for, development, so much. That has come in the last, I would say, in the last 4 years, from what I've observed. I mean, we'd have to look at the data to really see what development has occurred. And I don't have that data with me today, fortunately. I will post it in Telegram as I see it. And like I said, links in the description. Go join the Telegram group. That said, those states that saw the greatest number of foreclosure starts in February 2024 include Florida, Texas, New York, and Ohio. California is not mentioned here, but among the major metropolitan statistical areas with populations of at least 200,000 was in February 2024 included New York, Houston, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami. So there you go. California was mentioned. And like I said, I was predicting this, Ohio is kind of an interesting situation there because that was mentioned the previous paragraph here. States that saw the greatest number of foreclosures, and as we know with Ohio right now, it's in the Rust Belt, and you're seeing an influx of a lot of legal migrants that either the federal government or states are shipping them in, like the Haitian issue that recently came up in the 2024 debates between Trump and Kamala Harris. But more importantly, like I said, I broke down the previous podcast about New York, Texas, California, and Florida, and these are the four most populous states in the country, and the DEI to white population is as high as 40%. Some are as high as 45% DEI to like white, or what you would perceive as white, or like Anglo-Saxon, Irish, basically European populations that families have been here for multiple generations. So that also may be a factor. But more importantly, these states have seen an influx of a lot of people moving to and from. It's just a matter of time. I think that there will be a huge correction in 2025. Like I said, not financial advice, but that's just what I wrote about in 2014, and what I've been following over the last 10 years. That has been showing true to the article that I wrote then. I'm going to show this last tab here. So the foreclosure rate in the United States has been trending downwards since the peak in 2010. This was 2 years after the 2008 debt crisis. However, 2023 foreclosure rate of 0.26 of properties in foreclosure, below long-term average. However, in 2024, the first half, a 4.4% decrease from the same period in 2023, but a 7.8% increase from the same period 2 years ago. So in May 2024, one in every 4,320 homes or housing units had foreclosure filing. And then recently in June 2024, one in every 5,000 properties had foreclosure filing. So you can see that there's a major uptick, and we're headed closer and closer, I think, to this bubble territory, or at least this housing bubble that I've been predicting for a decade now. And again, some states with highest foreclosure rates in May 2024 include New Jersey, Illinois, Delaware, Connecticut, and Florida. That's very interesting because New Jersey, Illinois, Delaware, and Connecticut are these are where a lot of migrants, or a lot of not necessarily migrants, but a lot of retirees are moving from to Florida. And the fact that Florida is at the top of this list with one in every 2,638 housing units is the highest since May 2024. And this is just basically an AI generated data point. So don't hold it to me, but you can see here the references that they use. So Statista, Atom Data, and Housing Wire, which are some of the publications that they're drawing this information from. So I would say it's fairly accurate. It's a decent start to finding the data analysis of what's going on. Oh man, right now I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. So yeah, that being said, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just wanting to cover it and just let you guys know. I did receive something in the Telegram channel. There was a BlackRock bankruptcy, but that filing, I found it was from 2020. So that's an old news story. Just want to follow up on that one. The people in the chat wanted, I said I would cover it in the podcast, and I'm covering it now. So that basically that article was from a filing that was back in 2020 out of I believe it was Lafayette courts, and I don't know what the actual outcome was, but I did pull it up. Let me see if I can find it real fast again. BlackRock. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was 2022. I'm gonna share this tab now. At that. So this is the filing of BlackRock International, filing bankruptcy filing, and this is an old story from 2020 as it shows, 2022 rather, and this was at the peak of the COVID crisis, the lockdown crisis. So, U.S. bankruptcy, West District of Louisiana, Lafayette, bankruptcy petition, and this was Chapter 11. So, looks like its final decree was closed bankruptcy case. So, yep, that's it. That was that story. Awesome. So, yeah. That being said, I was waiting to see if we would get second chair, somebody come in and have a discussion, but that's all I have to cover for now. Please stay tuned, and I will give you an update on anything that happens in the future. Peace.